Well, as so often happens around here, I had great plans for today and it is now raining. G'day there, thanks for joining us. Today it is actually a Sunday and this weekend is super busy. We have lots and lots of things on. Yesterday I spent the day in town with my best friend as sort of a birthday celebration for her, and that was so much fun. It was just me and her. And then in the evening we went to our monthly homeschool grown-ups meeting organising thing. But Matthew took the kids to go and do a mock battle of the Battle of Culloden? I don't know how to say it. It's from the Jacobean era, based in Scotland, so some of the kids are all dressed up and they just had an absolute blast of a time. We are really heavily involved in the homeschool community in our local town, and every year we do a winter feast based on like a historical time period. We have all got outfits and costumes and all sorts of things, so that's happening next weekend, so we are really looking forward to it. And I will try and get a little bit of video or at least some photos for you so you can see us all dressed up in our costume. I have a very grumpy toddler at the moment and a very rowdy 6-year-old, so I decided to record this outside and he has followed me. So today the plan... Come here. So today the plan was to move a whole lot of wood mulch that's currently blocking our back driveway. We were going to put it in with the pigs, and actually Matthew's decided to do at least some of it this morning despite the rain. Because we need the path to be able to get the grain down to the animals tomorrow when he picks up the next order. So he's off doing that in the pouring rain, the poor sod. I'm going to go inside and show you how I'm going to be making a sleep tincture. I'm not a great sleeper, I never have been. I apologise terribly to my parents for my lack of sleep as a baby and a child, but I'm just not a great sleeper. And so I've decided to give this herbal remedy a try. You make a tincture with some different plants, and then you just take a few dropperfuls of it if you're struggling to sleep. And it's a recipe I've got from my friend Heidi at Healing Harvest Homestead. She suggested I give it a try, so I am going to give it a bash. And unfortunately this guy's got a bit of a cold, so I'm not sure how that's going to go. But we will give it... Oh, he wants down. But we will give it a try. We'll see how much I manage to get done. So let's head inside and see what we can do. As a family, we have decided to try and use more and more natural remedies. We've changed the way we eat quite a lot. We eat a lot lower carb than we ever have. There's a whole lot of things that have been tied back to too much insulin in the blood. So because of that, we do eat pretty low carb, and we try and eat as many organic veggies and things from home as we can. But on top of that, I get quite bad migraines, usually once or twice a month, and so I'm trying to look into some more herbal remedies that will help with that, because modern medicine has nothing that really genuinely helps. And I even have been to hospital and they can't do anything. It's basically a waited out game, which is really frustrating. But I have started growing some feverfew, so when it's functioning enough that I can harvest from it, I'm going to start giving that a try as a migraine prevention. So that's why I have decided to also try this sleep remedy. I've avoided, for the most part, using sleep medications in the past, but it's not uncommon for me to still be awake at 1 or 2 in the morning. And then, of course, the kids get us up at about 6. So the more natural option, I'm willing to give that a go, especially if it's plants that I can grow myself. This is the beginning wow, the beginning of a long herbal remedy journey. I've always been really interested in herbs and herbal remedies, and so I've read a lot of herbal remedy books. I've just never actually put it very much into practice. This is my life journey at the moment. We're trying to incorporate some more natural options into us and into our family. So this is kind of the beginning of that journey, and I plan on documenting the things as I learn them on this channel as well. This is my current herb garden as seen out my very wet bedroom window. And so we do have quite a few things out there growing, but I also have great plans for quite a few more things to be putting in there this year. I also grow quite a few herbs underneath the trees in the food forest. I just thought I'd better insert a quick disclaimer here. I am not trying to prescribe or treat anything. This isn't a official medication, and proceed with caution. It is a herbal remedy. Do your own research and proceed at your own risk. So this recipe is really, really easy, and ideally I would use herbs that I'm growing myself, and that is something I'm going to be trying to do a little bit more this coming season, is to try and grow herbs that are actually helpful. Well, to be honest, I grow a lot of them, but I don't actually use them for anything yet. So hops is one thing I can't grow here. It does grow in the warmer parts of the country, but it doesn't, as far as I know, doesn't grow down south where we are. So I have ordered these from a local herbery place. I've got some valerian root, and I do actually grow valerian, but I've only got one plant, and I feel like if I harvested the root, well, obviously the plant would die. Also, it died away for the winter, and I'm not totally sure where it is. This one is lavender, and I do have a lot of lavender, but all the flowers have kind of dried up and turned into seed heads because I didn't harvest any. And the other thing that I would really like to harvest this coming season would be some chamomile. We grow quite a lot of chamomile, and Matthew does drink chamomile tea. I think all those herbal teas taste like grass, and I don't like drinking them. So I won't drink them personally, so I haven't prioritized actually keeping the flowers. But he quite enjoys it. Why on earth is that focused behind there? Can you come here? Can you tap on my face?
Boop. Boop.
Thank you.
Oh.
So that's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm sorry, that camera may have been focused on my pantry behind me that whole time. So hopefully it's actually focused on me now. Anyway, so this is a really easy recipe. It's got hops, it's got valerian root, and it has lavender flowers and some vodka. You need an 80% proof alcohol of some description to get this tincture to work. And then I've just got some scales so that we can make the recipe the same every time. If you don't have scales, you can go by volume, but it's not going to be nearly as accurate. Where's my recipe? I've left it somewhere. There now. So I've just got a jar that will have a lid when I find the lid. Just a big jar to be able to store this in. So I'm going to put it on my scales and tear it. There we go. Apparently it does it all by itself. And we need, because this recipe is in parts, I don't actually have an idea what to go on. So the lowest part is 1 part lavender, so it's 3 parts valerian root, 2 parts hops, and 1 part lavender flowers. So I think I've got 50 grams of hops and 30 grams of lavender flowers. So if I make a part 25 grams, I think I will be away laughing. Yes. We'll see. So if 1 part is 25 grams, I will do 1 part of lavender first and see how much that takes up. Oh, it's going everywhere. Don't go everywhere. I might bring you around here so you can see too. I think I need a bigger jar. I'm going to go get a bigger jar. I've had a slight change of plans. I've decided just to make 1 part 10 grams instead of whatever I was going to say before, 25. So it's going to be a smaller recipe, because honestly I don't know how much of this I'm going to use. So I'll do 10 grams of that, and then the next one is 2 parts. So I'm going to do 20 grams. And I know not everybody uses grams, some people use ounces, but the reality is most scales these days, if you're using a scale, can do either. So it doesn't matter which one you understand, you can just set your scale onto grams and just go with that. So what are we doing? 20 grams of these. Whoops, they're going everywhere. Now hops are a flower off the hops plant, and they are the same thing that you use for making beer, and they are a natural sedative. And they smell nice. I didn't know they smelled nice. I don't like beer, so I kind of presume the flowers would be gross. Well, that's 10 grams, so we need twice that much. And then the final one is probably the strongest of the lot, and that is the valerian root. And generally, the finer you have it ground up, the more you're going to get out of it by soaking it in alcohol. So I might actually measure this separately and put it in my NutriBullet and whiz it up. Whew. Do you know what that smells like? It smells like a garden store in the fertilizer section. That's what that smells like. That is not okay. Yuck. And then you cover it in some 80 proof alcohol, which I just have some vodka here. So I've just put a tight lid on here, and then you can give it a really good shake. And then we can put it somewhere out of the sun. And the idea is that you shake it every day, waiting for the alcohol to dissolve all the medicine out of the plants and to put it into the alcohol, and then you can strain it off. And actually, when I look at that those hops have soaked up so much of that, I'm actually going to put a whole lot more alcohol in there. I think we'll probably end up going with 2 cups. Because I don't want to end up with like no medicine at the end. I want there to be plenty of liquid in there. But the reality is, the more alcohol you put in there, the more dilute it's going to be as well. So you want to keep a rough idea of how much alcohol you've put in it, so that you can replicate the medicine later. I think I ended up adding about 650 mils of alcohol in total in there. So I have some leftovers, which I'm going to store away for next time. And hopefully this thing doesn't taste as nasty as it smells, because it smells pretty bad. To be able to take it, you strain it off after 4 to 6 weeks. You strain it off, and then you put it into a brown bottle that's got a dropper. And then the dosing is 1 to 3 dropperfuls at night time, or if you wake up in the night time and you need help getting back to sleep, you can take another dropperful. But the idea is not to take it too close to when you're trying to get up in the morning, because you don't want to spend the day feeling drowsy and gross. We ordered this wood mulch from a local arborist, and he's really good to us. He actually works in town, and he's one of the few that will deliver all the way at our place. Obviously we do have to pay for it, unfortunately, but he does deliver it all the way out to us. So he's the guy that we have got all of our wood mulch from over the years, and so recently I sent him a message and said we're after some more to put in with the pigs. So he dropped off this big pile for us, and he's actually going to bring us out some more as well. So I've put down this tarp to hopefully tell him where to put it, because this lot will go in the garden. My garden paths are quite overgrown with weeds now, so it's about time that they got another douse of some wood mulch to help keep the weeds down, and also it helps absorb the water, keeps the puddles out of the garden, and all round I genuinely prefer to have them have the paths all mulched really well with this wood mulch. The pigs, they're making themselves a bit of a mud puddle in their house, and we're trying to mitigate that by adding some wood mulch to it to try and soak up the water and hopefully give them something else to be digging in that's not just mud, especially because we're kind of just at the beginning of the winter. We will probably have to put some tin along the back fence to stop it all running down the hill. And that was meant to be today's job, but unfortunately with the rain we're having a forced day inside, which actually is probably well deserved and well earned. So we're just going to hang out around the fire for a bit. Tali's made my sister some beautiful birthday cards. What was this one? An Eastern Rosella?
Yes.
Oop, there we go. You get to see my really messy bench at the same time. And what was that one?
Pansy.
A pansy. So pretty. And this is my messy bench that you didn't get to see in my video. I really need to box these eggs up. They're getting a little crazy. So realistically, I think that's probably the most accomplished thing I'm going to get done today. We're heading off to my sister's place this afternoon for afternoon tea for her and my other sister's birthday, so that'll be really fun. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you've enjoyed following along with our very busy weekend. And if you have, consider subscribing to our channel. We bring you videos twice a week on growing and preserving your own food, and you get to follow along with our homesteading journey as well. If you really want to help out the channel, one of the best things you can actually do is to share our content, either on Facebook or Twitter or however you like. But that's one of the best ways of helping us out, is to get other eyes on the channel. So I'm off to organise some food for this afternoon, and I will see you in the next one.